When you first saw the Big Alejandro LMG, the first gear set came in your mind to pair with it was probably going to be tipping scales, and the second one I'm guessing it's going to be striker. But you probably didn't thought about Negotiator's dilemma now, did you? Don't lie, I know you didn't. So that's why I'm gonna show you. Today I'm gonna show you why Negotiator dilemma with the Big Alejandro LMG feels amazing. It not only gets you the kills, but also keeps you alive at the same time. So without any further ado, let me show you the build. Alright, sorry for the weird cut here. I just wanted to add something that the video was made like a couple of days ago, and the gameplay I was going to show you was just like a legendary mission and retaliation. But after that, I went and cleared every single legendary mission in the game, and the way the build performed actually blew my mind. Like, not only got the highest amount of kills, but also deal really high amount of damage. You can also use the build solo because it not only deals great damage and take down multiple enemies, but also heals you at the same time, which I will explain in a moment in the video. Don't worry about that. And also one more thing, there is no global event that is active in all the gameplays that I'm going to show you, so don't think that global event is buffing my damage or anything, okay? And also no expertise on my weapons either. So let me show you the build. Now, as for the build, well, this is the build over here. As you can see, I do have my Big Alejandro over here, 4 pieces of Negotiator's dilemma gear set with the backpack, by the way. I have the Overdog's gloves, exotic, as well as an high-end chest piece. Now, for the specialization, I chose Gunner, mainly because it gives you 10% armor on kill, which will be actually really useful, which I'll talk about in a moment. But also, it gives you 10% of weapon handling when you stand still for a second, which is nice. And also, it regenerates a lot of ammo for you, because Big Alejandro is firing at a very high, RPM. So you're losing ammos really quickly there. Now, as for the gear set, the Negotiator, let's just talk about the gear set here, including the backpack, which I have. So let's just start with the backpack. Now, if you're a new player, if you don't know what it does, well, it gives you a lot of crit chance and crit damage. So, the set bonuses, that is. And 4 pieces where all the magic happens. This is such an amazing talent, not gonna lie. So basically, when you crit, you mark an enemy. You put a red marker on them, and then you can do up to 3 times. Like 3 enemies you can mark like this. And the other 2 enemies that are marked will actually going to take more damage than the enemy you're actually hitting. Yes, that they take usually 60% of the damage, but since we're using backpack, it's actually going to increase to 112%. This is why the enemies that you're marked actually go down quicker than the enemy you're actually shooting. This is the reason why. Especially enemies that like to hide, you can just mark them and shoot someone else or their skills that are out there. Yeah, it'll take down the enemy that is hiding behind cover all the time. So it is a really, really great talent, and always recommend to use the backpack when you're using Negotiator's dilemma, that is. Now, you also get more crit damage from it, by the way. Like when you get kills, every time you get the kills, you'll get 2% of crit damage, which stacks up to 20 times. So basically a lot of crit damage right there. So as for the attributes, I have weapon damage, crit damage, and crit chance mod. Just focus on crit chance a lot, like get 55 or something percent crit chance. I mean, 60% is the cap, but I like to stay at 50 to 55%. So yeah, get that crit chance and don't worry about the crit damage because you'll get a lot of crit damage from the gear set itself as well. Now, for the mask, I have a weapon damage, crit damage, and crit chance mod over there. For the holster, I have weapon damage, crit damage, and for the knee pads, I have weapon damage and crit damage. So that's my 4 piece of Negotiator dilemma stats there. Now, like I said, I'm using the Overdog's gloves. I mean, I don't even have to explain why it is there. It's just too good. A lot of damage coming up from this. The amplified damage, 30% from it, that is, and it's actually going to help you do even more damage, especially you're marking 3 different targets. So this tier thing that it has, it actually helps quite a lot with Negotiator. It becomes even better in my opinion, because I've seen damage numbers that goes even higher because of how the tier works basically. And since you're marking 3 different targets, it is really solid. Now, as for the high-end pieces, now you could go anything, okay? I choose Steelworks. This is the reason why I choose Steelworks, because it gives you 10% armor and kill. And I said I'm using Gunner for that 10%. And the reason why it is because it's 20% of armor and kill. And we're tagging 3 enemies. So when all those 3 enemies die, you actually get 60% of armor and kill like that, just because of Negotiator's tag. And, when you take down those enemies like that. So you can see in the gameplay footage that I don't have to worry about surviving much because every time I get the kill, which mostly going to be at least 2 kills for sure, it's going to give me 40% of armor and kill back like that, just because I have 20% from the brand set as well as the Gunner specialization. So that's why I feel like I can survive a lot more in this build, because every time I tag enemies, take them down, they go down, and I get the armor and kill like that. So it just works. I can play aggressively like this, just staying in cover and even blind fire sometimes. Like I just blind fire and I attack them and take them down and I get the armor and kill. So that's the reason why I choose Steelworks. But again, you can go for any other chess piece, but I do highly recommend Steelworks over here. You can, again, like I said, you can go for something like the Equalizer, get the perfect obliterate talent. That's what most people are using. Plus you get a 5% rate of fire, so that will be nice as well. But again, Steelworks, man, I just cannot drop this chess piece. It feels so amazing with the Gunner Specialization and Negotiator, obviously. Now, as for the attributes, we have crit damage, crit chance, and crit chance mod with the obliterate talent. Now, as for the weapons, obviously we're using the Big Alejandro exotic LMG. Now, you can get this weapon way before you can reach the season rank to unlock it. Like I got mine from the anniversary cache, and I believe you can also get it from something like Countdown if you farm it there. But I waited so I can reach the season rank, because you not only unlock the weapon, but you also get the blueprint. And with the blueprint, I crafted mine with the damage to armor, because the first weapon I received had rate of fire on it, which was not bad, but I wanted with damage to armor so I can optimize it and use it. That is basically. Now, I don't have any expertise on it because I am lacking resources, but it's a good thing, because the build is already doing really good damage and you can see the damage numbers. So that if you add expertise, you'll do even more damage. Anyway, so for the weapon talent, the cover shooter is great because you just stay in cover and you basically get 100% of weapon damage. Now, you do lose the bonus after 15 seconds, but if you stay in cover and get a kill, it resets it, which is pretty awesome. But the only bad thing is that when you reload the weapon, you lose the buff completely, which is not that bad, I would say, because you can get it back instantly because you're firing the weapon at a very, very high, fire rate, that is. So yeah, it builds up really nicely. It's a pretty good damage buff. Now, there's one thing I want to mention with Negotiator, that is, I thought that with Negotiators, the extra 2 instance of damage will reset the duration of, when you get the kill from cover, but it doesn't do that. So I just wanted to clear that because I don't want you to assume that the other 2 instance damage of Negotiator will going to reset the duration. No, it doesn't do that. You have to hit the enemy and then take them down, and then you can reset the duration. The other 2 marked targets, when they go down, will not going to reset their duration. Okay, so that's the thing I wanted to make it clear. But even without it, it feels amazing because when you mark them, you're taking them down, you can see like it feels amazing. It just takes the enemies down so quickly. So that's why I'm using the Alejandro with the Negotiator there. Now, if I show you my stats here, you can see my crit chance is really high, 55%. I just don't like to hit the 60% cap. I like to leave a little bit of room there. It's just a habit. But if you're a new player whose SSD is low, I will highly recommend you to hit that 50%, at least 50%, okay? If you can get higher, that's good, but try to hit at least 50% of crit chance. Don't worry about the crit damage that much because Negotiator will give you crit damage every time you get the kill, that is. Now, as for the defensive stats, we do have 20% armor on kill there, and this will feel like 60% like I already mentioned in the gear when I was showing you, because how it works, the Negotiator with the marks, and every time the mark gets the kill, you get the armor and kill from there as well. So it feels amazing. That's why I play very aggressively, just stay in cover and just, fire the weapon like a maniac. That's basically what I do. And if you get too much shot, you get pinned down, you can always blind fire as well. Just tag them. That's all you have to do. Just crit on an enemy, tag them, shoot someone else, they'll go down. Even if enemies that are hiding behind cover, they can go down as well if you mark them and shoot something else. That's why this Negotiator build can clear the room way quickly than even some really high DPS builds out there. Negotiator just works like that, and that's the reason why it's my favorite gear set in the game. So I'm gonna say that Negotiator, when you use it right, when you mark the enemies, it actually deals more damage, gets you more kills in a group than other DPS builds like Striker or Tipping Scales or even Concentrated Company, that is. So give it a go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you like the build, then leave a like on the video, maybe subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.